Hey guys, today I'll be answering this question of someone asked, I think it was a Facebook group, like what would happen if we blame ourselves without considering it as a disorder, or like would it escalate or de-escalate? So basically what they were saying is this, like if you blame yourself for what's happening, for not being able to manage your daydreaming, is it better than calling it like maladaptive daydreaming disorder? This is a very good question, and we are going to answer this question in, let's say, two instances, like the aspect of disorder and the aspect of blame. Actually, when you blame yourself, like why can't I stop this daydreaming, why can't I do this, why am I wasting time, it will not really de-escalate the problem, it will make it worse, because it's like you're telling yourself that you hate yourself. It's like you're telling yourself that you don't have the capacity to even love yourself. So when you blame yourself for something, you are piling more and more negative emotion deep within you. And when you pile this negative emotion, you get stressed, you get more anxious, you get more frustrated with yourself, you get bitter with yourself, to the point where you are feeling so bad about yourself that you cannot manage the negative emotion. So when you hate yourself, you are adding more things on top of the existing negative emotion. So what will happen when you add more things on top of the existing? You will daydream, like you will excessively daydream. Yes, you are thinking that blaming yourself will at least help you see the, or will help you see the badness of the habit you are engaging in, badness in quotes. No, but instead it will pile up more and more negative emotions. It's like you are more of adding more wounds on top of another wound. So what will happen? The daydreaming will not really de-escalate, it will escalate, because something about daydreaming, like maladaptive daydreaming, is it's triggered when you are stressed. And when you blame yourself, you'll get stressed because the habit is not stopping. So you end up blaming yourself more and more. So what happens? It escalates. So blaming yourself for the habit is not a solution. Yeah, I think what this person meant was probably taking full responsibility of your real life. There are two different aspects here when it comes to blame and taking full responsibility. Blame is more of like an aspect of the past, like why did I do this, why did I do this, how can I, why can't I stop? But now responsibility is like looking at your present life and saying like, hey, what can I do to make things better? Hey, I know I'm responsible for my emotions, I know I'm responsible for my anxieties, I'm responsible for, or I have the ability to respond to things which life throws at me. That's a very different aspect. So if you take full responsibility of your real life, or of the things which are not going well in your real life, what will happen? Your stresses will go down, your anxiety will start becoming manageable, because you are taking full responsibility. It's like you are caring for yourself, you are taking your own power back. When, of course, if you do that, what will happen? It will de-escalate, because the stresses and the anxiety will come to manageable levels. And that's actually a great aspect with life. Instead of blaming yourself for what happened, you are taking responsibility for the responsibility by acknowledging that now you know this thing is hurtful to you and you are willing to work on it. Now there's that other element of acknowledging it as a disorder. Like acknowledging daydreaming as a disorder, will it really help with managing daydreaming? This is a very interesting perspective, because what normally happens is when you acknowledge something as a disorder, there is that tendency of being identified with it, like calling yourself a maladaptive daydreamer. Yet in the real sense, you're not really a maladaptive daydreamer. You cannot be a symptom, you cannot be a disorder. It doesn't even matter if you're diagnosed with, I don't know, ABCD, you cannot be a disorder, because that is a symptom. So when we cling so much on this aspect of wanting this to be, wanting you to be classified as a maladaptive daydreamer, we miss the point. You cannot be a symptom. You are more than this symptom. You are what's beyond what causes the symptom. You are just a human being. But when we keep clinging on these things, like if it's classic, if I call it a disorder now, everything will be okay. No, you may end up also clinging to it. You may end up also not wanting to get out of it, because you are identifying with it. When we identify with something, we get some benefit from it, like a sense of belonging in quotes. So when you have this sense of belonging, we may not want to lose that, or your ego will not want to lose that sense of belonging it's getting from being called a maladaptive daydreamer. But that's a symptom. So classifying it as a disorder doesn't mean that it will help you deal with the unmanageable aspect of the daydreaming. It may even keep you stuck. But now there's that other aspect of now understanding that this thing is a problem, and now inquiring deeper and looking at what's really making you, or what's really bringing about this uncontrollable daydreaming. That's now where dealing with underlying issues are. So when you understand now this thing is really a problem, and you start now working on those underlying issues, you're not just taking back control from your daydreaming. No, you are taking back control from your negative aspects in life, or the past. It can be your traumas, your negative beliefs you collected from your environment, your subconscious beliefs, your underlying emotions, your stuck emotions, or all those things from the past which are preventing you from being present or from being true to yourself. So beyond those things you never processed is just a you now. A you now who doesn't really cling to labels, who doesn't really find comfort in labels or find comfort in symptoms. Hope you found that informative and insightful. So classifying it as a disorder, blaming yourself, will both escalate the problem, because you're still in the same thing, and you're not looking at the place where we need to look at, which is dealing with the underlying issues or processing those emotions. Hope you found that informative, guys. If you have a question with this, just send me a message or just comment, and I'll explain it in the best possible way. Until next time, have a wonderful day.